Hey everyone, this is Kelly Janae, and you are watching the Reducing the Dosage series. I am currently at 9.5 milligrams of Lamotrigine. Still taking it dissolved in solution. I haven't noticed any major, physical side effects of it, except for maybe, I can tell exactly when I need to take my medication. Apparently, the medication has a half-life of about 24 hours, which basically means that that's sort of when you start to feel the effects of not having it in your body. And so that's really becoming more apparent as I've been going down in dosage, I need to take my medication now. And I take my medication in midday just because for some reason that's just how it works best for me, taking it around 2 p.m. But yeah, it's hard to forget my medication because my body tells me that I need it. Other than that, there hasn't been much instability other than just the normal ebbs and flows of life. Like I said, I just moved into a new place, and that's really been a mark of a rite of passage for me. All the work that I've done this year, and this year has been hard. I mean, it's been hard on everybody. It's 2020. Remember when that happened? Hopefully, in the future somebody will be watching this video oh yeah, 2020, that was a ride and a half. Yep. Welcome to life here in this world. But anyway, it's really kind of marked a great passage into, I've been working so damn hard in so many ways to really fine-tune my life in a way that feels authentic and in a way that feels healthy and balanced. And I'm really tuning into a flow that's working for me and getting more in tune with my emotions and befriending my emotions, all the emotions: anger, sadness, grief, despair, confusion, fear. And I'll talk about this a little bit, but there's joy and there's contentment, there's happiness in there too. But learning to work with those more difficult emotions that cause us discomfort, and being able to really sit with that and be okay with sitting with that, because I feel strong, skilled, and resourced after having read The Language of Emotions by Carla McLaren. Thank you to that empathic individual for her life, because she has probably healed so many people through that work of absolute just wisdom and art. But that book has really guided my process. I've just been digging into it, and I'm pretty much at the end of the book, and working with all of the practices that she recommends, which are very simple, but really require a constant vigilance and a constant awareness. And it's amazing the amount of emotions that we go through every single day of our lives. And I think back, this happens to me sometimes. I mean, it happened to me yesterday, where I reach a point of sort of numbness and depression, where everything just feels harder than it should be, and I just get blah, or I feel really fatigued in my body, or I feel like it's difficult to access wisdom or motivation or emotions. And I know now that when that happens, there's a dam in my flow. And my task then is to find out, where is my flow impeded? Because that is going to help me move through whatever this blockage is, so that then, and to feel the feelings, because feelings are made to be felt. Feelings are made to be felt. Oh my gosh. Put that one on your mirror and remember it. When an emotion comes up, feel it. That's the only way through it. And it is so liberating to be able to be I feel angry right now. I'm going to erect a stronger boundary around my body, and I'm going to complain, and I'm going to burn this contract, and I'm going to ground myself, and then I'm going to rejuvenate myself. And it's 2 minutes later, and instead of throwing my cat across the room and smashing plates, I have skillfully dealt with my anger. And now I feel stronger, more empowered, and more rejuvenated. And I can go on with my day and not cause freaking ruckus in the world. I mean, it's quite simple. We just need to learn to sit with our discomfort. Something that I have realized, though, lately is that in working with all of these difficult emotions, I have not necessarily found or made the time to sit with the emotions of joy and contentment and happiness. I reached a point today where I was just, the only really problems in my life right now are all internal. Welcome to mental illness in a lot of ways. I mean, not to say there's not problems in the world, like the fact that climate change is happening and nobody's talking about it, or whatever. But, in my everyday life, the biggest thing is just like this internal, like, mechanism of, like, something's a little bit off. And so I have to constantly be with that and be like, okay, what is it? What do I need to do to accommodate you, body, mind, soul? Because I live in this body. My soul lives in this body. I must tend to this body. I must be present with this body. And not only my body, but my emotions, my spirit, all of it, and be there with it and tend to it so that I can then, like, move through life and be a functional human being. The path of self-discovery is a choice where you choose to be aware of the things that are uncomfortable. You choose that. And not everyone is willing to make that choice because it necessitates that you change yourself and that you change your behaviors. And goodness gracious, like, I know that sounds scary, and I know, like, all of you watching this are probably doing it to some extent, but here's the thing, and here's where I'm at right now, is it doesn't need to be a grueling, depressing, difficult, like, you need to change right now, or else. That's not the rhetoric that helps us feel supported. This can be playful. Believe me, this can be fun. It is fun to know yourself. It is fun to know that sometimes when you're feeling down and you're feeling weird, all you need to do is get your ass outside and dance in the backyard. Or that all you need to do is just, like, honestly, all I need to do half the time is dance. But all you need to do is take a hot bath with some essential oils and maybe some Epsom salt. Gosh, how terrible. All you need to do is call up a friend and tell them how you're feeling. Oh my gosh. All you need to do is, like, take your life seriously. I mean, you don't have to listen to my advice, but how I really am thinking lately is just, like, where's the fun? Like, healing and living in alignment with your authentic self shouldn't be a chore. It's a privilege, and it's almost overwhelming how joyful it can be. And I think that I haven't given myself the space to appreciate how much potential for joy that I've cultivated in my life as a result of doing so much work on the front end to manage this complicated, emotional, sensitive, empathic, psychic being that I am, that we all are. Like, I'm almost, like, at a loss for words for how incredible life is. And yet, I find it difficult to, like embody the joy and the contentment that comes from that. It's like sitting still and just being like, yeah, woo, I have a couple of friends who are so inspiring because they just embrace joy and contentment. Like when they're eating a meal, they just are so loud about it. Like, this is, like pleasure sounds. Like, honestly, just in the middle of a meal, just like, I'm just constantly like, this is so good. Like, during the day. And sometimes I feel like we just forget to be like, oh, maybe what I'm feeling right now is actually happiness. And I'm not used to that. And maybe what I'm feeling right now is a need for play, and I'm not used to that. But leaning into that and being like, oh, like, you know, this is a new part of myself that I've, you know, kind of hidden and forgotten because I've grown up, and that's a childish thing to do, to play, and whatever. We're put on this earth to learn and to play and to be. That's all we're here to do. So we might as well make life fun. And so I've really just been like doing whatever I feel like doing, and honestly, like my need for distractions, avoidances, and like addictions, you know, to, you know, if I feel like, oh, I'm feeling lonely, maybe I'll, you know, smoke this marijuana, or, you know, oh, same thing, maybe I'll drink this beer or whatever, or I'll watch TV, I'll watch a Netflix show that I don't really care about, or I'll just do a number of things to avoid what's actually going on in my body. I've reached a point where I really don't feel, even overeating, like that's a big thing for me, I really don't even feel like those things have a hold on me anymore. At least not as much as they used to. I still have to, like, you know, it's a conscious choice a lot of times, like, do I really want that? Like, no, I don't want to feel that way. I don't want to feel numb. I don't want to feel anxious. I want to feel whole. I want to feel happy, and I want to have fun, and I can do that without any avoidance mechanisms, distractions, or addictions. And so it's like, when we do what's healthy for us, and when we do what we love, because honestly, that's another thing, I just want to do what I love. I just want to get my pole in my house and do my pole dancing, and I just want to get my guitar and freaking play 7-string and just like rock out, and I just want to dance in the backyard, and nobody cares. Nobody cares. I realized the other day, I'm like, you know what, all I want to do is dance in the backyard, but I have neighbors. I'm like, who gives a crap? Like, I came out here and I danced, and there wasn't even any music playing. It was all in my headphones. And then I realized, you know what? People can see me, and this may be the first time they've ever seen somebody just like doing what they need to do and what they love and having fun doing it by themselves, completely sober. That's called being a role model. And so I will be a role model as I walk through this world and tell my story and share what's helped me to move through this, like, getting rid of Western medication. And it's kind of amazing that it's not more medications. It's not like I've supplemented my life with a freaking pharmacopoeia of holistic supplements. It's not like I'm constantly on the acupuncture table, and I'm not doing anything that costs a lot of money. I'm just doing what feels good in my body. I'm stretching. I'm jumping up and down and bouncing. I'm doing qigong. I'm learning astrology. I'm singing randomly, no matter what it sounds like. You know, these are healing me because it's what my soul wants, and it's what my soul needs. So I encourage people to really, like, look at the process of healing as something that is a joy. It's a joy. Because at the end of the day, when you're able to be like, I have a shadow side. I have things about me that are gross. That's called being a human. I'm beautiful and ugly at the same time. I'm kind and an asshole simultaneously. And that is what it means to be a full human on every end of the spectrum. Like, we're not supposed to be one or the other. That doesn't work. It creates imbalances. So there's, like, a lot of joy in just accepting, like, yeah, this is who I am. And, like, there's parts of me that I still want to change, and I'm working on it. But in the meantime, like, I'm going to do what I love. I'm going to find work that fulfills me. And honestly, I have a job that fulfills me so deeply. And I've manifested that. And I believe that everybody can. So that is another part of it. It's like fulfilling work, and then knowing what you love to do, and letting your curiosities and your desires, as long as they're not hurting other people or yourself, guide you. Your true desires, you know, not your addictions, not your patterns, you know, not your codependencies. And honestly, like, I spend a lot of time alone. I spend time alone, but I'm always, like, connecting with people. So, like, there's this need, if you're going through this as well, to be comfortable with being alone with yourself. And I have a lot of fun by myself. I really do. And that's just kind of my goal. Be a fun person. No matter what, no matter where. Yeah, so, I'm all talked out. Whatever. I am going to leave you be now, and I guess I have, like, 18 more, how many more weeks? 9, well, I guess like 9.5 more weeks of being on this medication. So the journey continues, and we'll see what happens next. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to support this series, I would love it if some people would start to perhaps donate to this via the Patreon. .com/ethereal ecology, because there's some upgrades that I want to do for my videography equipment and just the media content that I want to provide to you all in general. And so if you really have found this useful, perhaps, donating $3 or $5 a month would just be beautiful. And this is only going to grow and it's going to evolve over time. And so your contributions are really paving the way for ethereal ecology to become something that's uniquely filling a void in the world in a way that is mutually beneficial for you and I. So I love you all so very much, and I wish you the best in your healing journeys. Much love.